a weirdo. Alrighty guys, we are going to go get some fuel and then get some sweet delicious coffee nectar. Hopefully this looks alright view wise. Don't fucking stay there, you cock. Prick. Right. Time to remortgage. I hate this bike for filling up. It's a complete pain in the hole. Also, I do like these pay-at pumps. You don't have to speak to anyone anymore. But it's funny how all the way through your childhood you weren't allowed to take your phone out at a petrol station, and now they're like, yeah, just use your phone. Sound. I will. Yeah, because this bike's fuel tank's underneath the seat. It's a complete pain in the hole to make sure you get enough fuel in, because it just seems to back up the fuel filler auto shut off. Used to work for a company that made these actually. That company, Talkheim. Engineering placement. It was quite good. The best bit was when I left and my mentor, oh hello, my mentor who was looking after me for the 3 months said, you're going to drive past here in a week's time and there's going to be a box outside the front door next to the bins that says Struan's shitty placement work, rotting away, getting rained on. Because that's how meaningful the work that you're doing here on your placement is to us. I liked him actually. He told it as it was. Oh come on now. 6 litres, I think we need more than that. See what I mean? It isn't even full after all that shite. Right. And we're back. So, been a while since we've done a vlog, but I thought it would be a good chance just to shoot the shit and bring people up to date on some things. It looked as though the microphone that I'm speaking into was maybe a bit gainy, and I didn't know how to turn it down for some reason, but we'll give this a try regardless. I have bought a new microphone, a Zoom H1N, to go in. It's in my backpack at the moment. You can see it. It's I guess it's a dedicated microphone that you can control gain settings, you can control everything else on it. But with the intent on making better videos, I think, well, better riding videos at least. Let's just go for it. I think the one of the best things about this bike is hardly captured. So when I'm on it, I hear this thundering V-twin that just ticks along nicely, but it doesn't, because I've not got a decat or anything. It's a nice level for me, but it sounds good, and it doesn't sound very good in videos. But so I wanted to try and change that, and likewise with the Scrambler and other builds, and my friend's got a nice car as well. It's good just to try and have a better means of recording. better audio if possible. So I'm tinkering around with that today. I might try and blend some of that into the background. And we'll do some pure audio shots as well, where I'm not chatting out my arse. I do say a lot actually. I noticed that editing one of my videos yesterday seems to be my go-to, this horrible Scottish I don't really, I think if I become more aware of it, potentially I'll stop saying it less, but maybe I end up saying some other stuff instead. There we go again. So yeah, nice to be out on the bike. I was out the other night with the Aberdeen Cafe Racer Group. Although it's called the Aberdeen Cafe Racer Group, no one seems to bring their cafe racers. They all just bring their nice bikes, which is fine because everyone's got a nice bike they can go on and know that it's not going to break down. I went out with them a few years ago in the Scrambler, and some of the others had some pretty tidy bikes, so nice to know there's a wee bit of a community locally. Ooh. I really am enjoying this bike. I really am. Hopefully this camera angle's okay. It's going up regardless because it's been a while and I want to see how this goes. Yeah, so it's nice to have a cafe racer group locally with some biker heads in it. I've seen there's a place down in Fife recently opened up, the Bike Hub, is it? I'll put a link in the description, but they've kind of captured that market down the road a little bit in the middle of Scotland for a biker's hangout, which is really cool. Something I've really wanted to do up here for a while, but haven't found the time, motivation, or enough people to all want to kind of do it. I feel that's one of the things you can't, it's a big risk to go alone. It takes a lot of dedication, and my life's kind of been targeted other places, but to have a cool bikers hangout would be something that would be really cool up the road here, because there's a lot of us all share a similar interest, or at least one common interest. But it's, yeah, so watching this place with a close eye in Fife to see how that takes off. Maybe try and head in at some point over the summer if I get a chance. But it looks cool inside. Some nice coffee area, good place to hang out. This is Dice. It's like an extension of an industrial estate. It's minging. Sorry to any of my followers that may live here. I live not far away in an equally shitty part of town. However, I'm trying to move as well. Get out of there. Get some more space. Find a nice house that I'm hopefully going to go and have a look at next week. So it's not got a garage. It is massive, but it's not got a garage yet. So that would need something to, I would need to have a think about how to keep managing the build and stuff like that. Just because that happens doesn't mean hobbies and everything else stop. You kind of want to keep going with that. So, oh god. So it's been an interesting week here at Remotorcycled. Been an interesting few months, to be honest. I was doing a course in renewable energy, not because I hate my job and want to quit yet, but there is an element of, there's a new industry emerging in the northeast of Scotland, well in Scotland in general, and that being renewable energy, so that would be a good place to start honing my skills a little bit more towards how can I make a transition there if the opportunity arises. So we'll see. Course is done now. It's just a short course, tidal and wind energy, so certain bits of it were way more difficult than I remember, well, ever expected them to be. Some of the maths was absolutely horrendous. It just reminded me of uni. But when you've not looked at these things for like 10 years, your brain starts to hurt a little bit when someone says, oh, just a simple integration. You're like, well, it doesn't sound simple. Yeah, so that's finished now, but that was quite intense, trying to do that and work and try to manage any spare time getting this house sorted. So that's gone out the way, which is good. So now we're just in a place where I can kind of clear my feet a little bit and see what's happening in the next block of my life. But the interesting part this week was Dirty Garage guy, Matt. He used to have a channel called The Workshop. I don't know when he changed the name. I used to watch him quite actively when it was The Workshop. But he... my stupid fire video was on his radar. Someone, I don't know whether someone gave it to him or what happened, but that ended up on his radar. So he did a bit of a piece about me on a video. But it was actually a really kind piece. I think he applauded my just honesty and ability to just rip into myself a bit more and not brush stuff under the carpet. Please stay there, van. Which was really cool, because that's something I strive for in my videos. Is a lot of people just gloss over the thought process of building a bike or the challenges that happen when you're stuck in a garage and you've not got anyone to bounce any ideas off of. I think a lot of people, myself included, use online communities, whether it be forums, maybe not Facebook groups, are full of morons. No, that's a bit of a generalisation, but a few I've had encounters with before are full of mouth breathers that get to voice an opinion that they never normally would. Should we get past this? Instagram and YouTube. And these are all places that people like to use to connect with others, to bounce ideas off of. So my YouTube was always something I found was lacking, was just the bare bones thought process that goes into certain things, and exposing all, warts and all. Like, if there's mistakes made, then mistakes happen, and let's talk about them, and let's talk about how they can be done better. A, because it's an interesting journey, and B, hopefully it helps other people as well. That's the intent. I had a real bad I was driving to a meeting once on this road, and I had my BMW. I had a 135 at the time, and there was a huge amount of mud on the road. It was mid-corner, and yeah, it was a bit of a hairy moment in the Beamer there. My friend, who was also going to the meeting with me, talks about it to this day still, so I think it left a lasting impression on him as well. So it was good being out the other night with a few different bikers. You kind of realise your biking style compared to others. I think I'm a bit slower into corners and then use the power of the bike coming out, whereas others maybe don't brake as much for the corners, which is initially quite daunting. But it's all learning. Like I say, I've probably not been out that, I've not been in the game motorcycling that long. I've been in enough, I've done enough miles, but I still feel this riding more confidently through corners would always do, I guess, any biker better, but myself especially. Thing about this bike as well, it's got a weird, that's okay, oops, 61 miles an hour. there's like a weird, maybe it's nothing, it just sounds like a little bit of a top end chatter when it's when you're going at slow speeds, but maybe it's nothing. I mean, I'm assuming it's nothing. It's a relatively new bike with 2,500 miles on it. It's not a, and it's been serviced last year, so something smells hot. Hopefully it's not me. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, nice being out with other bikers. I tend to be quite if I'm riding by myself, I can go hell for leather for no apparent reason rather than just out for a cruise. But if there's a couple of guys ahead of you leading, you can pick up on their riding styles, you can pick up on a few bits and pieces that they do differently. You can tell, like, one of the guys right at the front was a more seasoned rider, so it was good watching his line and how he tackled corners and the speed he carried through corners, whereas I would typically brake a bit more. These tyres don't help. These tyres are the ones that came with the bike, and they're fine, but I've had a few hairy moments in them accelerating too hard coming out of corners, and it just doesn't bite like some of the other tyres on bikes that I've ridden before. So it's meant to be a good upgrade, getting rid of these tyres and going for something else, but we'll see. All of these things cost money, and if I was to spend all the money that I wanted to on this bike, then I would probably be an extra grand just on bits and bobs that I don't need. Well, commitments going elsewhere at the moment with finances, so what was I saying? Yeah, so Matt picked up sorry, I digress. Anyone that's never watched a Motovlog before, one of mine, I just jump between random topics of conversation and come back. So Matt picked up my channel and said a load of nice things about it, which is really appreciated, because I do like his channel and enjoy his he takes no prisoners, which is hilarious to watch. But I'm not gonna lie, I was shiting myself a little bit when I saw he picked up one of my videos. Thank you. Ah, 66 miles an hour. So now that was really cool, and then off the back of that I got a raft of new followers. I ended up going over 1,000 subscribers. I've been kind of sat at 940 for a while, so really cool to kind of, well, I've blown past it now. I think I'm just shy of 1,500 subscribers, so well, thank you very much, new people that have joined. Hopefully you stay, hopefully you enjoy, hopefully you continue to participate. There's been a lot of cool new comments and people following. Got some helpful feedback, and just happy to be there in general, which is cool. So man, I don't know. I'm not racing. I don't need to get anywhere in a hurry, so I don't know why I'm got a meet up this week with Ewan, Sugarly Shed, and Alan, Kilted Bushido Builds. I think Gary Wallace and John Beckett, and all these guys, Scottish based guys that we've all never really met up in person before. Alan's over from, stay there please, whatever you're doing. Alan's up from Glasgow. Not Glasgow, well, he's coming up from Glasgow because he's seen his mum, but he's over from Ireland. So that'll be really cool, seeing him. I've never met him before, spoken to him all the way through at lockdown. Nice houses, especially that white one. Give me your house. I said give it! fucking garage. Just a piece of shit. So that'll be cool. That's happening on Wednesday. Tonight I'm heading down to London to go see a band. I'm going to see a band called Tool, which will be awesome. I don't know, they're pretty big, so hopefully. I've never seen them live before. Again, getting tickets is a bit like hen's teeth, so looking forward to that for sure. And then catching up with a mate, probably going to go at the bike shed as well. I'm not at the bike shed show this year, unfortunately. It would have been really cool to go, but just with work, being away with work, it's just not worked out that way, so, which is unfortunate. I think if I had been, I probably would have tried to have done something to display, but because I wasn't, I've not, and that's absolutely fine. I'm kind of glad about that, because it's always a big stress getting that sorted. So that's about it. Lastly, still working on this XS750, which is, I got the cylinder head off. Spoke to the machine shop. Turns out they couldn't actually put my cylinder head in their engine, their engine boring machine, cylinder boring machine. I don't know whether it doesn't fit in or otherwise, so I need to have a think about a different machine shop and what they can do. There's a coffee shop I'm going to, but I'll turn around and come back. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame, because it would have been quite good to get that sorted from the shop that I've used before, so I need to find somewhere else. Hopefully they have, there's a Whiskey Hammer up there, it's a good whiskey shop and auctioneers. Yeah, hopefully they've got the ability to, somewhere's got the ability to bore these cylinders out, otherwise I've bought a big bore kit for no apparent reason, which is typical. Thought about looking at doing it on a Bridgeport. My friend's got a Bridgeport, but I think that's maybe a bit, I don't know. We'll stick to a machine shop if I can just now. This is high precision engineering, so I want to leave it to the professionals. I then think, let's go this way. Hello, children. That's weird. I don't know why I'm saying that, it sounds weird. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about that, but now at least that cylinder head's off. Hello, Staffy. The cylinder head's off, which is good. Oh, for fuck's sake. Skid risk. And before I follow my arse. So that cylinder head's off regardless. I'm going to get that looked at. I will change the cylinder. I would take the cylinder head apart anyway to see why we had a lack of compression, and then I think what we'll do is, so I need to have a bit of a think about what's happening with this build. Oh god, I was going to do a U-E there, but I'll just go here instead. Anyone else suck at U-turns? I'm pretty bad. Yeah, so I need to have a look at how the design of this bike's going to go. Split minds at the minute. I've got two side panel molds, which I could easily make two more side panels. Puts me down a certain path and a certain look of bike. I was going to try and go for a proper brat style with an open underneath, but I have gone through the whole process of trying to get side panels made for the other XS750, XS850, and those will be a direct fit once I figure out a more streamlined mounting mechanism. So it may be more beneficial to go ahead and try and make them work and make some more side panels. Don't really know, I'm in a bit of a split mind I'm not going to go lithium-ion battery and all that shit. I'm just going to use the standard battery, so I need to find a place to mount that if possible. It may just be in that triangle frame, therefore using that whatchamacallit will work better in my favour. Using the side panels will work in my favour. But apart from that, I think I need to make a commitment on a frame colour, and I need to go back and look at what the V5 said, because the bike was red before, and part of my issue was not wanting to modify this bike not wanting to modify everything at once. So saying, oh, I put this bike back together, by the way, it's changed colour, it's been a part but it's changed colour, but give me a V5 for this new colour. That's DVLA were a bit weird about that, so I think what I'll do is maybe get the frame painted silver, powder coated silver, or dark silver, and then that leaves me options to say, right, well, the bike was red, see red tank, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense? Is this place open? Doesn't look it, bastard. Ah well, I know where I'm gonna go. I'll go somewhere else. We'll go to Newborough. There's a coffee shop there. There's actually a... yeah, we'll go to Newborough. Yeah. So I need to decide. I think if I go a neutral colour, I can even just rattle can the tank red and say, oh yeah, it's still red. And then make a commitment to saying, right, everything else, let's paint it a colour I want, whether it's Phoenix, which a few people have suggested. Firestarter was going to be the name for the bike, but I think Phoenix is probably better because it's rising out of the ashes. So we can go some funky colours with that, and I've got something for inspiration I need to show everyone anyway on my next video. But then apart from that, it's rebuild the final drive, which had been taken apart in service, so I need to get some O-rings for that. There's a video there. Rebuild the cylinder head, get the electronics sorted. I think I'm going to go with an X21 unit from Alan at Kilted Bushido Builds. He's NWT's UK and Europe's distributor, so they've developed this wiring system kind of as a rival to the Moto Gadget, but with better customer service and not everyone using it at once, and a bit cheaper as well. So God, this just looks like skid waiting to happen. Oh, it stinks, fucking stinks. Whitey in my helmet, and then whitey all over my helmet. Anyway, yeah, and then apart from that, the wheels are on. I need to get the wheels off powder coated as well, but I don't think I would do that until I figure out what the final colour scheme is going to be. But I think I can do a part colour scheme if I commit to a silver frame or something, because I was probably going to do something like that anyway, and it's fairly neutral and allows for different colours to be laid over the top. So yeah, this is a boring ass road. So that's all that's been happening recently, amongst other things. So making it over 1,000 is kind of giving me a good bump to try and keep chucking out videos. I think it'd been a long time, a long slog, and it was getting quite, I was almost reaching the end of my tether. So this is actually the week before that happened. I was like, oh, I can't be arsed making another video, but this has kind of reignited my passion. At least if I can target this simple bike, it's not simple, but the more straightforward one, kind of like BJ and I were talking about from Rickhouse Builds, an easy build, a simpler build fuels the mind, and you see tangible progress more simply, more easily. You see tangible progress more easily, so it kind of makes it, I guess, more likely to extend into other areas. Now don't get me wrong, I'm still ticking along in the background with that other build, but it's just slow, and it's just a lot more intensive energy wise. So having something that's like the other day, I could just go and play about with in the garage in a GoPro and make a new video, and an enjoyable video at that. I enjoyed making that, that was good, versus everything needs anything that needs huge amounts of product development and otherwise, or time to set aside to go and do X, Y and Z, or be in the right mind frame to set up CAD, print something out, check it and everything else. Don't get me wrong, it's really interesting and I do like doing it, but just where my life's been at the moment, it's been quite tough to get that drive to want to spend all my free time doing that. And I don't think the night shift has helped much. I think I waste a week of my life getting back onto a day shift in a normal routine. I still try and do stuff, but it's like this constant countdown battle of when you wake up at, well, you wake up stupidly early because it's like having jet lag, so you wake up at 5 and you've got to do as much as you can before it gets to 3 in the afternoon, because you're just pretty much a zombie, and then you're spending 5 hours waiting until you can go to bed again, which it's not ideal, but boo me, blah 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 blah, what ifs. Who lives there? Splits. Those look cool. Audi Q8s. Like badass looking things. Newborough. If this was the other side of Aberdeen, further south, I'd love it, because it would be a great little place to live, but it's just the wrong side of Aberdeen for me. It's got an awesome beach. It's got these, it's called the Seal Beach. There's loads of seals. Rufus loves it. I love it. We all have fun. There you go, you can see this, you can see the beach. There's a pretty cool nature reserve as well. God, I shouldn't be near schools, so I shouldn't joke about this. Right, the coffee shop. Should chill out. Trellis, we'll get coffee from here. Great coffee, it even says on the sign. Nice. Wednesday to Sunday. Why is everywhere fucking closed when all I want is a coffee? Oh man, right. Well, on that disappointing end, my disappointing end, let's hit my girlfriend. Yeah, we shall love you and leave you whilst I hunt around rural Aberdeenshire for a coffee. Hello guys, take it easy, see you soon.